Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. A few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager. I've been trading for over 24 years. I started as a prop trader in New York City, and I did it for about 11 years, intense. And then I left the day trading world and continue trading and started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy I have this opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. So the title of the webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead, especially for new people, I just want to explain what we're trying to do here is very simple. We're trying to make a plan for the upcoming trading week. And as I like to quote traders when they say you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. So this way, our trading becomes a little bit more organized, less chaotic, maybe less emotional, and hopefully more productive. The agenda of the webinar, we speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We speak about fundamentals. We'll go through the economic calendar for the week, trying to see the big picture, analyze the past week, and see what's waiting for us in the upcoming week. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, what we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media, I highly recommend for you to subscribe to our channels. You have Telegram, you have X, and as I always say, my favorite YouTube channel where you can find a lot of useful information, including tutorials, educational material, and webinars, including this one, are being recorded. And we are posting it on our YouTube channel. So please take a second, subscribe, click on that bell, be notified, and feel free to share with your friends. And of course, if you like it, don't forget to click on the like, don't be greedy. And also write your comments, and we'll be happy to hear from you. Okay, so before we go into the details and everything else, it's been quite a week. We had a huge sell-off on Wednesday, and of course, there was pretty much priced in almost 100%, I think 96, 98% probability that the Feds were to cut the rates, and that's exactly what happened. But then the comments from Powell during the press conference and before, it just clearly shows that the Feds are very cautious, and the priced in level of the interest rate cuts for next year was about 4 cuts of a quarter of a point each. And it looks like that changed to half of it. Some even predict no cut on their interest rates for next year. And there are some analysts actually saying that the Feds might need to raise it back. So it's very controversial. And that's the situation now. So as we saw, the market reacted to that. It was disappointing projection for the future of interest rate actions. This title says right here, the stock market needs a washout. What sentiment says about what comes next. You can find these articles on marketwatch.com, Barron's. Interesting to learn a little bit more details. But the bottom line, as I said, the Feds are cautious as the inflation still being stubborn, and they revise, it looks like it, the actions for the next year. But still, we never know. It's all, as Powell's favorite saying is, it's all data dependent. So we could see some improvements in data and things will change as well. So we'll find out. Just to show you, next meeting is on 29th of January. And as of now, the probability of the rate cut is super, super small. It's 8.6% as of now. And of course, the rest of it stays. The prediction is to stay the same. Now, something that we didn't hear much about because it's very interesting as a public or investors take it as granted that every time there's a crisis with the U.S. Shutdown, they always say that they will just do things and increase the limit and things are going to be great. And that's exactly what happened. So let's just read it together. It says right here, Senate vote ended U.S. shutdown fears. You know, the shutdown, that means there's no federal funds and government shutting down and everything else. So just to explain, it won't be the last such crisis. Just explains it's happening once in a while. And it says right here, a government shutdown was averted early Saturday when the Senate voted to pass a bipartisan spending bill that ensures funding through March 14. That means that any time before March 14, we're going to face the same issue. President Joe Biden signed the legislation today. If shutdown fears should sound like deja vu, that's because the federal government shut down 3 times, including once for several hours during President-elect Donald Trump's first administration, and narrowly avoided many more crises in recent years as lawmakers increased battle over funding agreements. As you know, the U.S. is in a lot of debt. They're spending a lot. They're borrowing. Whatever situation, you can learn about it. And sometimes these deadlines are coming, and they just extended it. So here comes Trump. Will Trump back U.S. Bitcoin reserve power cryptos next rally? That's also interesting article about the cryptos and possible future of the cryptos. As we know, Trump in his election campaign spoke a lot about it, very positively about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. This week with the Fed's kind of projections, all the risk on instruments went down. That includes cryptocurrency. We'll take a look at it when we get to the charts. Okay, so before we go into economic calendar, so it was quite a busy end of the week. We had the Fed's decisions followed by the details on what's going on in the future. Market reacted super negatively. It was a big sell-off. And then Friday, we had the move up, a pretty serious move up as investors found, I guess, bargains in the current prices. So that's what pushed the market up on Friday. As we know, we have holidays coming up. So this week is a short week of trading. By the way, very important, check the details. You can go to AvaTrade website and find the holiday schedule. You can go to trading info and then find the holiday schedule there and then make a note. There are some early closings on Tuesday. Some markets or most of the markets are closed on Wednesday. Thursday is tricky as Europe is closed and others are, and the US is fully open. And then the following week we have the New Year's as well. So please check it, prepare yourself so you won't get stuck in unwanted positions for the long time, okay? So just keep that in mind. So we finished the week, and again, I'm giving you the numbers for the cash indices. Dow Jones on Friday, we're talking about for daily results. Dow Jones was up on Friday 1.2%, S&P's up 1.1%, and Nasdaq up 1%. So in the S&P 500, 450 companies out of 500 closed higher. So it was a strong Friday. We still finished the week on the negative. We'll take a look at the charts. And it was also a very high conviction rally, as some analysts are calling it. And I'm just bringing you the quotes here with the numbers. 21.7 billion shares changed hands on the US exchanges on Friday, the largest volume day in almost 4 years. For comparison, the average daily trading volume so far this year is 11.6 billion. So it's very interesting to notice it. Not only we had a run up on Friday, but it happened on the high volume, and it's almost a double of the average volume of this year. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this week plays out. Okay, as on Friday, it looks like the traders and investors they wanted really to be along the market, to buy the market, or at least maybe covering their shorts, whatever that is. So it was a bullish sign, moving up on a double of the average volume. Okay, so going to economic calendar, before we go into it, I just want to explain a few things for new people. This is public information. It's being published. You can access it on our web trader or the app. You can also just Google it. There's a lot of providers. It's all the same source. And here, as you could see, usually I only bring the red color, which is the high impact. Now this week it was hardly anything, hardly something there. So I actually included the mid impact or medium impact as well. So it became a full page. Otherwise, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red ones. So very, very, very low amount of announcement this week. So let's go through this. By the way, the times are here, GMT time, so you can figure it out what it means for you. Okay, so Monday, GDP numbers from UK, also consumer confidence from US, GDP from Canada, Canadian, they call it summary of deliberation. Very interesting. It's the same as the US call it the meeting minutes. So they'll be discussing here or revealing to us the details of that last meeting. Bank of Japan monetary policy meeting minutes. That's exactly what it was. As we know, last meeting of last week, they didn't do any changes, and the governor explained that they unclear what's going to be with Trump's tariffs and other things, and they're not sure about the wages and so on. So as of now, their actions are on hold. That was very disappointing. We're going to go into the charts. The yen really dropped significantly after that announcement. Tuesday, we have Bank of Australia meeting minutes. They're also going to be talking about their decision. Durable goods from US, home sales from US. Here we go, speech of Bank of Japan governor. That's very important. There's no schedule, and I don't know if there's any way to see it. Last time I couldn't access it. So, but definitely we'll hear something as a result of this meeting or speech. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. There we have the survey from Switzerland, Tokyo Consumer Price Index. We have CPI from Japan, unemployment rate, and so on. So I guess this is the data that is important, of course, for the Bank of Japan in their decision. The next decision, I think, is in January as well. So we'll find out. Okay, we'll talk more when we get to yen. Don't want to go into it now. So these are the things that upcoming week brings to us as far as the announcement on the economic calendar. Now, 10-year yields, as you know, I show it pretty much every meeting we have here. We had a huge move to the upside. It accelerated with the Fed's comments here. We are above the previous resistance here, and if we continue, we might hit this level around 468. So that pushed the dollar to the highs and give a pressure to gold. So Friday, as we know, the market reacted to the upside. Gold had a little recovery, and dollar sold a little bit. So there was a reaction here on the 10-year yields as well. Okay, and these are the champions and the losers for the past week. So let's just go through. This is the commodity and indices. So on commodity world, we had a huge run on natural gas. We'll take a look when we get there. Cocoa up 5%, natural gas was up 14, coffee up 1%. Now indices, as we said, had pretty much a bad week. Russell 2000, 4.5% down. Palladium, okay, let's just go to indices. Nasdaq 2.4, Dow Jones 2.4, almost DAX 2.35. On commodities, we had palladium down 4.39%, wheat sold 3.5%, and copper sold 2.35. And these are the forex pairs, currency pairs. As we said, yen sold, so we had a nice move on dollar yen, 1.8% for the week. Pound yen 1.3, USD CAD up almost percent. And on the downside, New Zealand and Australian dollar sold significantly, 1.94 and 1.78%. So these are the biggest losers and the gainers for the week. Okay, let's bring the charts and we'll go through our assets. Let's start with indices. As tradition, we'll start with China. China was flat for the week, as you could see here. On the daily chart, we're also flat. We're waiting for something, as you could see here. Again, for new people that are not aware of what's happening, there was a huge move on Chinese index when the government started to take measures to inject funds into the economy and improve conditions. We had a nice move to significant highs. Then in 2 days, we raised 50% of it, and we're pretty much sitting at the current levels. We had few times when they announced more actions, and then they were erased the very next day. So a lot of downside pressure on Chinese index. The government is trying to take actions, but it's just kind of fading away. So as of now, we're sitting at this level, and we'll see what's next. Of course, as I always bring with China, 4 assets. We have copper, oil, and 2 currencies. They call them commodity currency, Australian and New Zealand dollar. So there was a sell-off, of course, to do with strength of dollar, of US dollar as well, but also the Chinese weakness is reflected on those assets, as you could see. Crude oil as well, showing the weakness until Friday, a little bit of rebound, and copper as well has been selling. So that's on China. Japanese index is also, it looks like having a resistance around 39,800. We've been sliding lower. We retested the 200 moving average and we bounced right back. So we're also waiting something, trading in this tight channel. Now let's go through the US indices and see what those big losers did. As we said, Russell 2000, the small caps suffered the most of all the indices. It was a huge drop on Wednesday. Thursday was a red day, and Friday we bounced a little bit. We're still above the 200 moving average, but we did break the previous support area. Nasdaq was the second one on the losing bench. Here we go, a huge sell-off that brought us to the previous support. Thursday continuation, and Friday we had a nice bounce here of the 50-day moving average here. Dow Jones it started actually selling off before the Fed's decision in the comments. A lot of it to do with United Health, as we know. Its company has a big weight on the index, and the CEO being killed in New York City, somehow it triggered the sell-off, and then we had a sliding continuation here, and then Wednesday with the Feds and the market pretty much falling. Dow Jones continued with a huge drop on that day, and similar to all the indices, Friday we had a little correction here. So that's on Dow Jones. German DAX as well. We lost, DAX lost last week 2.35%. After making all-time highs, the whole week we pretty much was selling here on DAX. Okay, so that's as far as indices. Let's move to stocks, and we'll start with Tesla. As we know, Tesla took the place of NVIDIA being a leader, and we spoke about it a few times as Elon Musk and Trump, they became pretty cool friends. Let's leave it at that point. So we did have a nice run on Tesla. We had a drop on Wednesday with all the market, Thursday continuation. And what's catching my eye here really, that when all the major stocks, as we said, 450 out of 500 S&P stocks had a nice move on Friday, ended up positive. Tesla actually ended up negative. So that's something important to notice. It looks like the profit taking is taking place here, or maybe something else. So that's on Tesla. Now let's take a quick look at NVIDIA, as NVIDIA has been having issues since there were a few announcements. One is that China is after the company, trying to blame them for certain actions. Then, of course, there was Wednesday sell-off. Thursday was also in red, and then Friday had a nice recovery. So we're sitting on the 100 moving average here. Nobody speaks a lot about NVIDIA anymore, but some analysts are seeing a rebound. So let's take a look at how NVIDIA does. For now, it's been selling. As you could see here, we made a lower high and a lower low. We're still about 200 moving average, so technically we're still in the bull market on NVIDIA. It looks like we are holding the trend line as well. So let's take a look what happens there. Now, let's take a look at the big boys, as I call them, all the heavy players. Netflix sold as well. Friday recovery is holding to the upside, to the move. Meta had also a sell-off in the recent days. Friday, a little bit of recovery here. So we are sitting somewhere here on the previous resistance. We are really fighting for that level. We bounce off 50-day moving average, and we're trying to come up above that level again. So let's see if that works. Google as well, together with all the market, is sold on Wednesday and Thursday, and on Friday, a nice recovery here. Amazon, similar picture. So for us now, on all the big stocks, the all-time high is the indication for possible next retest. And if market decides to move lower, well, definitely those stocks are going to move lower as well. Now, Apple looks the strongest out of all the group, as you could see here. Wednesday was a sell-off, but nothing huge. Thursday, when the sell-off continued in other stocks, Apple was in green, and we actually had on Friday, not just recovery, but recovery with the all-time high closing, and it closed at the high of that day. So as you could see, out of all the Magnificent Seven, or the big boys, or whatever you call them, Apple is the one actually at the all-time high. So looks very, very strong. Microsoft, similar scenario to most of them. Wednesday, Thursday sell-off, Friday a little recovery. Intel here has been selling, and we came very close to that support. If you remember, we spoke a few weeks back when this price here around $19 represent a book value of the company. So as we get close to it for the third time, it looks like the buyers are coming in. So it's also worth paying attention to. Uber, continues showing the weakness. Just to remind us, we spoke about Uber when they start selling, and then there's a company led by Google. They announced that January of 2025 they will start using robotaxi, and I forgot the city. So that triggered initial additional sell-off, and we are sitting here after being at 87 on that reaction on October 10th. If you remember, was the opposite reaction when Tesla didn't really convince the investors with the robotaxi. So the credit went to Uber, and Uber jumped on that day. And since then, we've been sliding lower here. So it doesn't look so good. Now, banks. If you remember last week, we said the banks looked like they're looking for some correction, and that's exactly what happened. The whole week we pretty much was sliding lower, and then Friday a little bit of recovery here. JP Morgan as well, Goldman, we saw Bank of America and Citigroup. So the whole sector has been selling, and then Friday we had a nice recovery there. Teva Pharmaceutical, if you remember, we spoke about Teva for quite a while. Where is Teva? Okay. Some reason I can see it, but we'll find it. Here we go, right here. Teva Pharmaceuticals, some good news, some financial news, some development with the new medication. A very positive move here. We had a move with the gap closing after the announcement of some medication being approved and continuation. So just remember the story of Teva. We spoke about it when a while ago we spoke that it's been traveling between 7 and 11. Every time we got to 7, the buyers came in. Then we broke 11. We said that 14, 15 is the next area. And then Teva was accumulating a lot here between, let's say, $15 and $19. And then went a nice move to the upside, and we are continuing. Actually, very strong sign after the huge gap up, we continued higher. So on the monthly chart, so you could see here, we could be, if this momentum continues, we could be running into 25 area. And if we break that, we'll continue. You know, Teva is a serious company here on the year 2015. The price was around $72. So we're going to watch Teva for possible continuation. Oil stocks, as oil is not showing a lot of strength, let's put it that way. We saw continuation the sell-off of Exxon and Chevron that have been selling on the weakness of the dollar. Now, there's no major announcement as far as the earning reports, so we're going to wait till January. I think the first report comes from banks on January 15 when they open the earnings season, and then JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo will be reporting on January 15th. And that's going to kick off the earning season for the fourth quarter of this year. And we'll look forward to that. So that's as far as stocks. Again, we had the sell-off on Wednesday. Some continue on Thursday, Friday. We popped up on the high volume. It's a strong sign, like into the weekend, the investors and traders didn't want to be short, or some didn't want to miss opportunity to load after a strong sell-off. So that's as far as stocks. The banking are correcting. Nvidia is weak. Tesla had the correction. It didn't bounce on Friday with the whole market. Something important to see. Okay, let's move to commodities, and we'll start with these gainers and losers. We'll start with natural gas, as it had a nice move. Just going back, as we said, the 3 area was something that we paid attention for a long time. It was a resistance, and then we confirmed the support, and then since then we tried zigzagging and looking up. So natural gas at this point looks very strong. We just broke through the resistance of October 22nd of last year, and we closed above. So it looks like the space could be open for further move to the upside. The whole week we were going higher. So let's see what brings for this coming week. Cocoa had a super strong week until Thursday's sell-off that erased the previous day gain, and then Friday we had a total indecision here, as you could see, spike up and down and closing almost flat. The opening price was 11,843, and the closing 11,912. There's still quite few points there, but on the chart, it looks like we're right in the middle of the spikes up and down. So we're going to watch that. Cocoa this coming week. Coffee, as we mentioned a few times, has been at the multi-decade high. I think somebody said on Bloomberg 47-year high. It's been trying to break this 335 level. We did break it here the previous week, and we dive right into this channel again. And then we had another attempt on Thursday, which ended up in the reversal. So let's see, it could be reaching the top. We could be loading for the next move. We'll find out what's next. So those are the gainers. Now on the losing side, we had palladium losing 4.39% for the week. Here we go on palladium, which just broke to the previous support here. And then Thursday and Friday we try to recover. So this 925 level, we're probably going to watch. Wheat. Where are you? I'm having a hard time finding assets today. I apologize. It's probably in the top again. Here we go. Wheat also been sliding, breaking the previous support by coming to the major support here from mid-November. Let's just mark it with the price line here. Wheat again was down 3.5% for the week. You could see here. It doesn't look good. Anyway, we have this support here that we might be testing, and let's see what happens next. If we do break that, we might be traveling lower to look for the next support, and if we hold it, we might be bouncing here. As you could see here, it keeps on making lower lows, lower highs here, and let's see what's next for wheat. Copper, as we said, copper is moving lower. A lot of it to do with the low demand from China's economy that's shrinking. And on copper, we came also to a major support somewhere here. This is where the whole big move started. Then we stopped the sell-off around here. And after a try to the upside, we're getting closer to that level again, around 405. We'll be watching copper there. Crude oil, as we said, it's trying very hard. We did break through that upside through the trend line, but we came right back. We're sitting right on it. So we're below pretty much all the moving averages, 200, 100, and sitting right on the 50-day moving average here. Let's see what's next for crude oil. Again, a lot of it to do with China, low demand, as we said many times. The economy there is not really, does not look very happy. And on the other side, there's still some uncertainty in the Middle East with the whole situation and developments in Syria since the rebels took power in the Assad ruling is over. So we still don't know. I guess nobody knows what's next, how it's going to affect the region and everything else. So that's why I think oil is not sure here. On one side, China is pushing it down with the low demand. On the other side, some maybe fears on supply from the Middle East could be adding some strength to it. So we've been sitting around these levels, as you could see here, zigzagging up and down. We're pretty much flat. So on gold, as we said, gold's been having a lot of pressure to the downside with the 10-year yields moving higher and the dollar moving higher. And as we saw that reversal on Friday added to gold, and we came right above that line of support around 26.05 and closed higher. Okay, that's as far as commodities. Let's move to Forex. And again, we did have that interest rate decision of the Fed with the projection of less cuts. So it gave a lot of strength to the dollar. We're going to start with dollar index. That's the reaction, the dollar index after the Fed's announcement. The strong move to the upside. Thursday continuation and Friday reversal there. Dollar yen. After that decision from Bank of Japan and not to take any actions, yen was super weak. Here we go on Thursday. That was the move. Dollar yen moved above the previous resistance here, and we came to the point from which the sell-off started here around one. Let's see exactly. The high here was 157.60. So we are currently confirming that that's the resistance. As you could see here, it played a support for a while. Then the moment we broke below, we had a huge sell-off here, starting July 22nd of this year. And then after a while, we came back. Now, some traders could find a lot of bullish formations here. One of them is actually cup and holder. It's obvious here. This is the cup, this is the holder, and the moment we break the top of the cup, we continue higher. I always say about these things, they could be very subjective. You can see on the chart what you like to see, and it could be the truth. It could be that we're gonna run and actually repeat this move to the upside. Everything is possible. But for now, we're dealing with this resistance here at 157. We rejected it on the first attempt here on Friday correction. Also, important to notice here, we are in a bullish signal here, which is the golden cross that triggered, I think, a week or so ago, when the 50-day moving average breaks above. So some analysts are observing it and making the buying decisions here as well. So we'll find out. We have some events this week, announcement, and let's see if we manage to break. If we do break this 157.62, we might be moving to 160, 161, even 162 area almost on the yen now. So dollar yen was up 1.8% for the week. The next one was pound yen, also super strong move, which retraced on Thursday, give away a little bit of their profits, up 134%. We did reject this also resistant area for the similar dates pretty much. USD CAD continues showing strength. We can call it double impact. One is the strength of a dollar. Second is the weakness of the oil is affecting Canadian dollar in a negative way. We had a huge move ending up on Wednesday, and then Thursday we had a correction. Friday continued. So let's see if this was the top, or it could be just the correction here before we go higher from here. Dollar yen, dollar CAD is looking super strong. If you see, this is the monthly chart. We had two spikes here. One was January 2016. Second one was almost hitting the same highs. It was March of 2020. And it looks like it's trying to retest those levels around there. So that's USD CAD up for the week, almost %. Now, as we said, New Zealand and Australian dollar showing a lot of weakness. We're just testing this previous support here. This is Australian dollar. This is monthly chart, right? Weekly chart, we did break below the previous support, and if we continue, we might be testing the further support further down here at 0.6169. New Zealand dollar, similar picture, we just broke through supports. This is the weekly chart, and we could be continuing here. Now, so we saw Thursday and Friday was a little bit of a correction. We corrected, I don't know, maybe 20% of that sell-off on Thursday, and that's your major pairs here. Now let's take a look at the yen. It reacted negatively to most of the currencies here, as you could see here on Thursday on that decision to do nothing. It affected the yen in a negative way. It really sold against most of the currencies. So we'll be watching for those new developments on the Bank of Japan. Okay, that's as far as the Forex, and let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. As we said, on Wednesday, when the market sold, not just the market, also cryptocurrencies sold. It looked like all risky assets were in the down move. Here we go. Bitcoin currently is flat. This is the current action, flat in the week. Sorry, on Sunday, and for the week is actually erased the previous 2 weeks of the advance pretty much. Now, what I noticed, Bitcoin and Ethereum sold to the levels of, or at least tried to reach those levels of November 22nd, November 27 here. As you could see, November 27, we're actually trading on Ethereum around that level right now. Just follow what I'm saying. November 27 level is currently here. The same thing on Bitcoin. Actually, with its spike, it reached the level of November 27. Now, you know, I like to spot the relative strength here. Now, take a look at XRP. It looks like out of 3 is the strongest, because November 27, where the buying pretty much resumed somewhere here. You see, XRP never even managed to go to that level. It had few spikes, and the lowest one was here. That was last week, and this week with the whole sell-off, we had the brief spike, which ended up a positive. So what it means here, to me at least, that out of 3 major cryptocurrencies, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, which is Ripple. It looks like Ripple looks the strongest, and it looks like the buyers are not letting it fall below the 2 level. We didn't have a close below $2 level since we broke through it on December 1st, right? So it looks like the buyers are super serious here on XRP, something to notice. And Bitcoin, we did reach 108, right? And we're trading. Then we went as low as, I think, 92, 93. Yeah, 92,000 almost. And now we're trading in 96, 97. So we are below that psychological 100,000, right? So again, they sold all 3, or pretty much all the cryptocurrency, or most of the cryptocurrency assets sold. And out of 3 major ones, the Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum, looks like XRP is holding the strongest. Okay, so that's it pretty much. Let's just summarize what we spoke about. We had Feds last week. Everything went according to the plan. but the comments for the next year disappointing the markets, and the market reacted significantly to the downside. Then on Friday, with a nice recovery into the weekend on double of the average volume for the year. So it looked like it was a bullish reaction towards the end of the week. We are facing a short trading week. We have some announcements there that we went through on the economic calendar. Please, again, follow the instructions pretty much. Follow the details on the trading days for this week. It's different. Some days are going to be short, some days are going to be closed. Some countries act one way, others another. So please make sure you access. Again, you go to avatrade.com, trading info, holidays, hours, and then there you have a PDF file that shows everything. Okay. It's a holiday season. I know a lot of people are celebrating and in a, as they call it, in a holiday spirit. So enjoy your holidays, enjoy your preparations, enjoy your families, and of course, have a successful trading week. And we'll be back next Sunday. All the best. Take care.